Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. We have a great show for you tonight. Tim Pate and Jonathan Eder are here to provide us some opening and closing music. How are you gentlemen tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Jonathan?
I'm excellent. Thank you for asking.
Good. Cool.
Great, great. We also have a guest, Charles Holmes of Conscious Planet, that makes hemp food products. We'll be talking to him this evening. We have some film clips we'll be rolling and taking your phone calls in just a few more minutes as we bring out our infamous dancing cannabis leaves.
I feel the force.
Okay, our first hemp news story tonight is out of Oakland, California. Oakland city officials are seeking a license up to 4 industrial-sized medical marijuana grow operations within the Oakland, California city limits. Oakland city officials began accepting applications from prospective growers this week. Licensed growers will be required to pay an annual $211,000 fee to the city of Oakland to operate the cultivation sites. Their permits do not set limits regarding the quantity of cannabis that licensed producers may cultivate at each of the given sites. According to the Associated Press, they say, quote, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration did not return messages seeking comment on how the agency might respond if the Oakland, California city-approved operations actually start growing cannabis, end quote. Next story tonight is from Los Angeles. Members of the Los Angeles City Council have decided to place a proposal on the March 8, 2011 municipal ballot that, if approved by voters, would impose a 5% citywide tax on medical cannabis sold at local dispensaries. The measure defines the proposed fee as a, quote, gross reimbursement rather than a tax. In November, voters in several California municipalities, including Sacramento, San Jose, Oakland, and Stockton, approved local tax measures regarding the imposition of business or sales taxes on medical marijuana. If approved there in Los Angeles, the revenue from the city's medical cannabis tax would be used to fund public safety and fire and rescue efforts. Out of Trenton, New Jersey, the New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services will hold a public hearing on Monday, December 6th, to discuss proposed rules for New Jersey's nascent medical marijuana program. The hearing will take place between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services, first floor auditorium, Health and Agricultural Building, 369 South Warren Street at Market Street in beautiful downtown Trenton, New Jersey. In October, health officials released draft regulations regarding the implementation of New Jersey's Compassionate Medical Marijuana Act, which was signed into law in January. The proposed rules limit the manufacture of medical cannabis to 2 licensed facilities, restrict the percentage of THC that may be present in the plants to no more than 10%, and limit the varieties of legally available cannabis to no more than 3 strains. Critics of these regulations say that they're unduly restrictive and are not consistent with the intent of the New Jersey legislature. Members of the New Jersey Assembly voted this week in favor of a concurrent resolution that seeks to force New Jersey's DHHS to revise their proposed regulations. However, the New Jersey State Senate has yet to vote on the issue. The public has until January 14th, 2011, to comment on the proposal. Persons wishing to comment on the proposal must submit their comments in writing by regular mail to Ruth Charbonneau, the Director of the Office of Legal and Regulatory Affairs at the Office of the Commissioner, New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services, Box 360, Trenton, New Jersey. Written comments must be postmarked on or before January 14th, 2011. That's the end of our hemp news segment tonight. We're going to go over to the Cannabis Common Sense Band. How are you gentlemen now?
Oh, I'm doing well.
About the same?
All right. It's been, you know, it's one of those weeks where we are making it through, and winter is changing everything in our neighborhood, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've had a few cold snaps, but do you have good...
I'm sure we're not alone, too. I mean, a lot of our viewers across the country are getting that cold snap right now, too. So
that's true.
We're just going to play kind of a dark, moody blues song right now. You know? Not from the Moody Blues, but a moody blues song. You ready? Well, I went downtown, saw you with another guy. Yeah, I went downtown, saw you with another guy. When you took his hand, well, that's when I began to cry. I got a crush on you. There's no denying it. But you done me wrong. There's no use in you lying about it. Oh, baby, when I think about it, all I can do is cry about it. If I go downtown, oh, I'm afraid of what I might see. And if I call you on the phone, well, you probably just hang up on me. Oh, baby, I just wish there was a way I could let it be. Got a crush on you. There's no denying it. But you done me wrong. There's no use in you lying about it. When I think about it, all I can do is cry about you.
Mr. Tim Pate and Jonathan Eder.
Thank you.
Guitar and keyboards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was good. What's that song called?
I got a crush on you.
That makes sense.
There you go.
All right. Well, we are taking your phone calls tonight, so if you have a question for us, you can call us. That number there on your screen. It's 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We'll be taking your call for about another 15 minutes or so. We'd like you to call in if you have a question about ending adult marijuana prohibition, cannabis, industrial hemp, or helping medical marijuana patients. And I'd like to introduce our guest here this evening, Mr. Charles Holmes. How are you, Charles?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah, welcome to our show.
I'm humbled. Thank you so much.
All right.
Now, you've come all the way down from Victoria, BC?
Actually, Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Vancouver.
So you're involved in the hemp food industry.
Correct.
And have a business, Conscious Planet,
Yes.
and it's also aligned with Living Harvest.
Yes, Living Harvest was the first company that we started about 10 years ago to deliver the hemp message to the food shelves. Yeah.
Well, we've shown Living Harvest products here on the show many
Yes,
times
we
over
have.
the
Very
years.
grateful,
And
thank you.
they've gotten some major distribution. I know they're being distributed by a Portland company now, but it's manufactured all up in BC.
The raw materials are the other main products that you see in the stores, like hemp milk and ice cream and things like that. And the Tempt brand now is made mostly here in the States.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
All the manufacturing here and the packaging is here.
But
now.
from Canadian hemp seed, at least.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not being grown yet here in the United States, but yeah, it all comes from Canada.
Well, Canada grows good stuff, doesn't it?
We do.
Okay,
Definitely
well,
the
then it's
best.
okay. Until we can grow our own, we're glad to get yours.
Yeah.
That's very true. Now, you
We're
brought
fortunate.
something with us.
Yeah, that's the basic hemp seed with the shell removed. We call it hemp seed nut.
Yeah, I think it has a nice flavor akin to maybe a cross between sunflower seeds and pecans or walnuts or something
That's
like
what
that.
most people say, yeah.
Yeah, it has that
choice.
pecan walnut flavors, which is indicative of the amino acids and everything, right? It's
Hemp seeds are well known for two things, especially the concentration of amino acids as a complete protein, and the essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6, in balance and high concentrations as well.
How is it that you came to be involved in? How did you start Living
us your
Harvest?
compelling
Tell me
story.
more about.
It is an unusual story. I, like most people, got moved to look at my health after some health concerns came up. And even as a strict vegetarian, I noticed that I had some deficiencies, and one of them was I was protein deficient. So I started looking for the ultimate protein source under some direction from some mentors in my life. And I was working with wild rice up in northern Canada as a potential a functional food. And long story short, it just turned out to be an unviable raw material for that. But I was in the office of a agent for the Saskatchewan Food Development Center there, and he said, well, we got these guys growing hemp seeds in the last couple of years here in Canada. What do you know about hemp? And I said, well, other than rope and paper and clothes and smoking it, not a lot. And I'd seen the oil on the shelves, and I was mostly a flaxseed user back then. And he told me a quick story. He said, a friend of mine gets all the leftover stuff from one of these companies that presses this beautiful oil from these seeds, and he calls it just this hemp cake. And he's a pig farmer, and he's got the healthiest, leanest pigs in all of Saskatchewan. He said the only problem is those pigs won't gain weight and you can't sell them. Of course, from my nutritional background, I realized this was unusual. So I said, get me a sample of that product right now, and he did, and I looked at the nutritional analysis and realized it was the ultimate base for a protein powder. So that's when hemp protein powder was discovered by a pig in southern Saskatchewan.
Here, here.
I've heard of several other discoveries of that same product in various parts of the world, but yeah, there's a number of manufacturers of that product now, but it's a really good one. I mean, it really is one of the ultimate protein source, well, the ultimate source
in my
for
opinion, it's
protein
very unique
from
for
plants.
us as humans especially. Yeah.
It fits well, it works well with everything we need.
Yeah, the amino acid profile and the type, the quality of protein is called an edistin or a globular protein. And what that means is it's very close to our own blood plasma, and assimilability is very high. So for us, that means just high efficiency, like any fuel in any sort of a machine, it means better performance.
Now, you've gotten some rather compelling, strong testimonials concerning uses of some of the hemp foods. Why don't you relate some of those?
Well, the way I look at it, what I've come to believe, and most people do, as they start traveling down this road of health and nutrition, is we are what we eat. And when you start giving the body back the deficiencies that are missing, it starts to jump up and do things it hasn't been doing for a while. And amino acids and fatty acids are important foundational building blocks, what we call foundational foods here at Living Harvest. And I've seen everything from people losing weight, gaining weight, bodybuilders, which people wouldn't think that a bodybuilder or something like that could put on kind of muscle mass eating this kind of a food product. But also, I met one guy. He was a pastry chef, and he went on our product, and in about 2 weeks he was off. He was diabetic. I didn't know he was diabetic, and he was off insulin within less than 2 weeks.
Which is a major thing. I mean,
huge.
It's a big change
especially
in their life,
now in North America. And what we're discovering is, a lot of people are protein deficient, and we start to reach for carbs to supplement our needs for our brain activity and things, other things that are going on in our body. And when our liver's not getting a good source of protein, our own sugar factory starts to slow down, and our pancreas starts to work overtime trying to balance off the sugar levels with insulin and hormones and such. That's what's going on. So when you start getting a really good source of protein, all of a sudden the body starts to relax, and all the functions start to come up again. Body starts to make internal sugars, starts balancing our brain needs, and everything starts to work better. Yeah.
Great.
Now, how long have you been doing this yourself? You take this as your own personal lifestyle. It's more than just a speech with you. I know that.
It is. I'd be surprised if anybody eats more hemp products than me in a day.
Good. Well, you look healthy, and you look like you're ready to run a mile.
At least a mile. I'm sure I could.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, how long have you been doing this now, Richmond?
Probably, well, like I said, about 10 years ago, I first was introduced to hemp seed as a food source, and we launched the company in 2002. So by then, every day I've been consuming hemp seed foods.
Now, the change
regularly.
to Conscious Planet label, what was that about?
It wasn't really a change. It was sort of an addition to.
Okay.
Being involved in the health industry and health food industry, going to all the trade shows and all the health food stores for many, many years. I was on the road for probably 4 years, helping deliver the message of the amazing hemp plant. And I've found that there's a lot of marketing in health food stores and a lot of great products. And I started to get to know all the different manufacturers, all the different suppliers, and I was a little discouraged, to be honest.
Right.
And I realized that to deliver a message of removing the cause of disease really couldn't be done through a health food store. It had to be really done person to person through education. Because it was just challenging to have 5,000 other different products on the health shelf and trying to compete with them without education.
There's so many messages, it's difficult to see which one is accurate.
Well, as a quick example, you can buy a bottle of calcium supplements, but you look at the back and it says made from oyster shells. Well, we're not designed to eat those kind of things. It's like trying to eat a nail instead of spinach to get iron.
Right.
Our body has to assimilate these things. So unfortunately, most of these kind of things are not taken into consideration by most companies. Some of them, I shouldn't say that some companies are very good at what they do. But again, most people are shot by price and marketing. They're not giving the whole story. And you've got to do your due diligence. So I went aside and I realized that there was an opportunity here to deliver a complete nutritional package program, an educational program to help people kind of do it yourself, what we call a pro-trained diet. And it's learning how to feed you and not the composting process or what we call microbial action in the body, which in my opinion is the cause of all disease. Ultimately, no one dies of anything but organ failure at some level.
All right. Well, you know what? We take phone calls on this program. We've got a caller who's been standing by for just a little bit.
Right on.
Welcome to the show, caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
With a light mover, can the light be moved closer to the plants?
Yes. Yeah, because it's moving, so it can come within a few inches. Where
Within a few
normally,
inches.
say, 1,000-watt bulb, you'd want to make certain that you were at least a foot and a half away from that light source if it isn't protected or encased in glass and vented.
Yeah, you'll burn it otherwise.
So, but with a light mover, it just sweeps by, can sweep by within a couple of inches.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
If you have a question for us tonight, give us a call at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We have Mr. Charles Holmes from Conscious Planning and Living Harvest. His back of his product here says hemp seeds categorized as an akene. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Correct.
Akene.
Yes.
And has no enzyme inhibitors and is gluten-free, meaning it can be easily utilized by the human body. When compared, it clearly stands alone as the most significant nutritional and sustainable food source for humans, containing high-quality, balanced, and concentrated essential amino acids, or alkaline-forming complete proteins, and essential fatty acids, the ideal 1-to-3 ratio, omega-3 and 6, with GLI, stearidonic acid, and vitamin E. What do you know about omega-9? I know omega-9 is also one of the essential EFAs, essential fatty acids. It isn't talked about much. I know that hemp seed has it and flax doesn't.
Omega-9 really is a non-essential. It's a monounsaturated. It's what mostly makes up things like olive oil.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's omega-3 and 6 are the essentials.
And so what's the difference between hemp seed oil and flax seed oil? There's a different ratio, isn't there?
The main difference is the ratio of the omega-3 to 6. Flaxseed is approximately 4 parts omega-3 to 1 part omega-6, which is very high on the omega side for us for a balance for what we require as humans. The hemp seed is approximately 3 parts omega-6 to 1 part omega-3, which is actually the best ratio for us as humans to consume and assimilate. And like we were just reading, having the gamma-linolenic acid, the GLA, and the stearidonic acid, these are precursors to your body ability to break those down and make DHA and EPA, which as you start looking into this world of nutrition, you'll see fish oils and such, they're supposed to give us these things. Well, your body does make those things. So ultimately, they are not essential. But unfortunately, most of us, organ capacities and enzyme bank accounts are not high enough to even make it internally anymore. So we have to reach for squishing fish and getting their juices out to get what we need.
That's, yeah, or other sources.
Yeah, true.
We have another phone call. Welcome to our show, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hi, I was calling because I wanted to let patients know about a problem that I just encountered.
Okay.
I have muscular dystrophy. I was born with it.
Oh.
And in '02, I was diagnosed with MS. And I've had the same
That's a bad combination.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly. It's MS that's really bad, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's degenerative.
So I've had the same primary care physician since about 2000. And recently I used her to apply for my cannabis card because the cannabis helps a lot with the MS and pain and stuff.
Sure.
Mostly the hunger and sleep. But I have a lot of pain issues because of a surgery that was it was done wrong, and so I have a bunch of scar tissue inside and it hurts. And
It happens with surgery all too often, unfortunately.
yeah, the doctor used this new tool, and then the nurse dropped me, and it was just ugly, a bunch of scar tissue and stuff. And so anyway, they've prescribed through the pain treatment center thing that I use fentanyl patches to avoid the withdrawals from the oxycodone, because I only take oxycodone when I really hurt.
So you're have a pain contract going with a local...
Yeah, they made me sign a contract.
And did you talk about your medical marijuana permit with those people?
Well, the doctor was really understanding. In fact, she was helping me by writing the letter that I submitted saying that it would help mitigate my symptoms. The other day I went in there it was actually for a diabetes checkup, and this doctor that was filling in found out, and looking on the computer, she saw that I sometimes used cannabis, and she refused to refill my prescriptions for my pain meds.
What an idiot.
But I'm addicted to them, so...
Yeah, they addicted you.
I'm down to like 6 oxycodone, which again, I only take those when the breakthrough pain happens.
Yeah, sure, right.
But they weren't going to refill my scripts until I told them I wasn't going to smoke pot anymore. And then they said in 30 days I have to submit to a P-test, which, because I'm out of pot, it takes a while to grow a new plant, and I just started them. So, I figured I'd go ahead and submit to their little P-test just to get by and get my pain meds. But then the other day they called as I went to refill my oxycodone and said that they weren't going to because I'm still applying for my card. And I made the lady try to explain to me how having the card, which is good for a year, meant that I was going to smoke pot, while the prescriptions are only good for 30 days at a time. Do you follow me? I mean, at any time I could stop taking the prescriptions and go to smoking pot. And I've already paid the money for the card, so I had to tell them that, I'm not going to smoke pot, but I still want the card. So they gave me, 20 of the oxycodone, so 7 or 8 days worth maybe at 4 a day, something like that. And I have to go in and see some doctor I don't know and explain to them that, I may stop taking the pain meds and go to just cannabis. So I want the card so I'm legal, because I don't want to get arrested because I'm old and have kids and I don't need to go through that.
Right.
Sure.
And so I just wanted to let people know that I don't know if I can name the hospital.
Yeah, you can. Go right ahead.
Well, this was Adventist.
Yeah.
Not
So
surprised.
you want to watch out, because I think their religious beliefs are interfering with the medical and
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing better than or worse than a misguided moral system.
Yeah, there's no compassion there. I'm in a lot of pain, and there's a big difference between what the cannabis does. It takes 45 minutes for this oxycodone to start working.
Sure.
And I mean, I've timed the withdrawals down to the minute. And when I start hurting, it's every evening. I can smoke a little bit, and it's within just a couple of minutes I have some level of relief. I mean, it doesn't get rid of all of the pain, but it sure takes the edge off.
Makes it more
And in
tolerable.
the meantime, I can wait for the oxycodone to kick in, But like Thanksgiving dinner, it was really hard to eat because I didn't have any pot. It's just that simple,
That's a shame.
So patients should not tell their doctors, as far as I'm concerned, that they smoke pot at all. I mean,
with these pain contracts, you're making an agreement to abide by their rules in exchange for, their treating you. I don't know how your insurance works or why you're going to the Adventist system. The Adventists typically propound, a vegetarian diet and a nutritional philosophy that if only they knew about what Charles Holmes is here telling us about the health benefits of hemp foods, perhaps they'd change their mind some.
Yeah,
but there are other pain clinics in town. You might check with your insurance company or your provider and see if you can check around and call them. Or do you still have the initial primary doctor who helped you get that license?
Yeah, I'm still.
You might go to that doctor and explain to them what's going on and ask if they will intercede on your behalf with this pain clinic. Another thing I want to tell you is for chronic pain, eating cannabis actually works better than smoking it. So smoking it, of course, works a lot more quickly. But eating it will work even better for pain control. In fact, it's the CBD in cannabis, not the THC, which is responsible for the high we know about in cannabis. It's rather the CBD or cannabidiol that's the primary medicine for pain and most other physical conditions on that list there right on your screen. THC is only really good as an appetite stimulant, which is bad for me, but it's also good for nausea and some psychological conditions. But it's CBD that controls pain, spasms, seizures, neurodegenerative diseases. It actually slows the progression of not just multiple sclerosis, but Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and a whole array of neurodegenerative diseases. And so eating cannabis in conjunction, just like you use your OxyContin for your breakthrough pain, you could use your smoking for the breakthrough pain if you're eating the cannabis. You should work out a deal with these folks at Adventist, at the very least, that they don't cut you off cold turkey. That could be fatal. They should at least wean you off of that gradually and give you enough for, you know, those breakthrough incidences. But I would go to your primary care physician and ask them to intercede with the Adventist hospital. And then, given your health care plan, I would talk to other pain clinics here in town, because there are others that will allow you to use medical marijuana in conjunction with their pain contracts. Also, what we see in our clinics, and we've helped over 100,000 different patients and tens of thousands of chronic pain patients and probably 10,000 MS patients as well across the country, is that they're able to dramatically reduce their need for painkillers if they're allowed to eat cannabis and use a vaporizer or smoke for those breakthrough pain incidences.
Well, a couple other quick points. You mentioned the CBC or D?
CBD, cannabidiol,
CBD.
And that's the primary medicine in cannabis. It's not available pharmaceutically like THC is.
Well,
CBD can only be obtained currently from organic marijuana.
Yeah, what I did is I let my plants flower and then stopped the flowering right as the little lower buds were almost mature, and put it back into a grow phase, and that actually reduces the THC because I'm not looking for the high.
Sure.
And it increases that CBD.
Yeah. Another
so
thing is
generation of
the
plant
CBD
was
is
much better for pain. And
yeah, the CBD is just as prevalent in the leaf of the cannabis as it is in the flowers, where the flowers primarily have, you know, are the primary place to find THC. The CBD is found throughout the plant. So you can use the leaf of cannabis in food products or in capsules. We recommend 00 size capsules in making capsules at home.
Well, just to let other people know, if you can rejuvenate your plants and get a second or third generation out of them, it's kind of tricky to do it, but it lowers the THC and increases that painkiller part of the plant, and you still get a really nice plant out of it, but it's tricky. And then as far as the other pain centers, my neurologist for the MS is through Providence, and I went to them out here in Gresham, and
well, they're another religious institution.
Yeah,
you got the Catholics that have the Providence Hospital, and the Adventists.
They stepped up and immediately said that I had to quit smoking pot, and to get off of the oxycodone, because that's why I went there, was to get unaddicted, you know. They told me I had to sign a contract and start taking methadose, which is methadone, to replace the oxycodone, and then they'd wean me off the methadone.
I wouldn't go to them either.
When I took methadose for about a week, I mean, it made me, even with a really low dose, it really messed me up.
Yeah.
It's a much, to me, stronger drug than oxycodone, even though they're all opiates. And so then the neurologist, though, he deals with cancer patients, and he's got a completely different attitude about the marijuana. He's willing to sign letters, and, you know, because he's dealing with the dying patients, really. And And
well, you know, the thing you should know as a multiple sclerosis patient is that cannabis and CBD in particular slow the progression of MS. It's the only compound known out there that slows the progression of this terrible degenerative disease. So I highly recommend that you start eating cannabis 3 times a day, and contact us at this other number that you see on your screen. Are you in the you are in the Portland area. You can call us locally at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606, and we'll try to direct you to other pain clinics that aren't so vindictive and short-sighted, narrow-minded.
Where do you get the gelatin capsules to fill with the cannabis?
You can get them at just about any health food store, and we sell little kits called Cap 'em Quick, or you can go online and buy these Cap 'em Quick kits that'll make where you can make your own capsules.
And filling them is pretty easy when your hands are, you know, it's a little difficult with the MS with the dexterity and stuff. Is it pretty easy to fill them? And
well, that's the thing. When you eat it, it's going to help you, you know, control that dystonic movement and all of that. So, yeah, they're pretty easy to do. But if you need some help on that, again, we'll be glad to help you.
How much do you eat? Because I tried it once in a salad just to try it out. It's kind of like eating mold in a salad.
Yeah, well, that's one of the advantages of having it in a capsule,
Yeah,
is that you don't have to taste it or mix it in with your food and give your food that cannabis flavor.
Yeah.
Double O-size capsule 3 times a day, or the equivalent of about half a teaspoon 3 times a day, is enough to give you a constant level of CBD. When you smoke or vaporize and inhale cannabis, the duration of effect is 1 to 4 hours, where when you eat the cannabis, the duration of effect is 6 to 10 hours. So by taking it 3 times a day orally, you'll have a constant level of CBD in your system. Then you can smoke or vaporize for breakthrough pain incidents.
And you don't recommend really grinding up the bud and putting it in?
Well, you can, and it has CBD in it too. Only, you know, you'll also get the high effect, which isn't some people don't want and some people do. I like it myself.
Well, I like it in the evenings to relax, but during the day when you're trying to think and function,
I know some elderly patients that were never smokers, and they like to take the leaf products in the day and the bud product just before going to bed at night.
Oh, hey, that's an idea. Just make 2 different batches.
Yeah,
I didn't think
the ones made out of leaf are bright green, so we call them greenies, where the ones made out of flowers aren't as brightly green.
Well, I just wanted to let people know that if you don't have to let your primary care physician, your pain management people know, just don't, because that stuff stays in your records for...
Yeah.
I mean, this note that she found was almost 10 years old, actually, and she didn't even know, this particular doctor didn't even know that I had them help me with the letter because it wasn't in the computer, and so that...
It's outrageous that they're so ignorant, and that, you know, they're going to practice this kind of witch doctor attitude, you know.
Sure.
They think they're superior, but little do they know they're really quite ignorant.
Yeah, because there's no research to back up their attitude. The one doctor said immediately that there was no analgesic benefit to marijuana. And
well, you know, they study THC, and they don't even know about CBD. So it's the THC doesn't really have a real analgesic effect, but the CBD or the cannabidiol does.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your call. I wish you the best on that. If you'd like us to help you, call that number there on your screen, and we'll be happy to assist.
I definitely will. Thank you very much. And
you're welcome. Good luck.
And thank you. Bye-bye.
You know, we have a film clip we're going to roll now, and we'll be back in just a moment to take more of your phone calls and talk more with Charles Holmes about hemp foods and his companies Conscious Planet and Living Harvest. So stay tuned. And here's the film clip.
There it is.
Give us this day our daily yeses. Yes to life. Yes to living. Yes to caring. Yes, to giving. Yes, to creating. Yes, to thinking. Yes, to clarity. Yes, to balance. Yes, to seeing. Yes, to being. Yes, to yeses. Give us this day our daily yeses. Chaos, confusions. Confusions, chaos. Desperations, despair. Despairs, desperation. Programmed belief. Belief programmed. Manipulated minds. Minds manipulated. Behaviors, reactions. Reactions, behaviors. Fearful thinking. Thinking fearful. Altered thought. Thought altered. Diseasing perceptions. Perceptions diseasing. Forgetting medicine. Medicine forgetting. Clear thinking. Thinking clear. Coherent coherence. Coherency coherent. Prayers given. Given prayers. Peace and love. Love and peace. Created realities. Realities created. Whatever sees. Sees whatever we do. Do we? Give us this day our daily yeses. Yes, to see. Yes, to be. Yes, to balance. Yes, to coherence. Yes, to thinking. Yes, to creating. Yes, to giving. Yes, to caring. Yes, to living. Yes, to life. Give us this day our daily yeses.
That is John Trudell and the Bad Dog Band back on September 11th, 2010, this year at the Hempstock Festival this summer down at the waterfront. One of my friends and heroes out there, Mr. John Trudell, we're very proud to be able to work with that man.
We've been blessed to have him present at our shows now for a number of years, and he is wonderful. I love his performances.
We have a phone call standing by. Welcome to our show, caller.
Am I on?
You're on.
Well, hello there, Sir Timothy. And
hello
Sir
there,
Paul. And how's the crew and the camera people and the lovely audience?
Well, they're
well.
all here.
Excellent.
Happy to give us a thumbs up back here.
Excellent. Hey, I wanted to follow up on that young man's question earlier. I found out through my pain specialist of 10 years down in Eugene, he's been writing my card for the last 5, is that he can no longer prescribe my opiates, which I do need, and I only take them unless I'm just really killing in pain. and I am slowly but surely dying at home. But at the same
Bummer.
time, it's like he says this will be the last year I can write for your card. And I said, well, why is that? And everybody, I said, is a DEA, of course. And he goes, no, it's a board of medical examiners. So I'm not trying to say that Adventist is the greatest place in the world to go, because I'm not happy with them, and I'm not happy with Providence at times. But even Kaiser screws it up, and you remember Sacramento, their headquarters, they said, they put that bulletin out that meant to every doctor, if you see a need, go ahead and do it, But it's a whole different world. Like if you're on a contract with a doctor and you say you're not going to take any substances that he doesn't give you, then that's a different area.
True.
But I just hate to see someone get a bad rap, even Adventist. If it's not, it's really the board of medical examiners have come down on them really hard. And if I may, could I ask a question of your guest?
Sure, that's why he's here. That's a good thing.
Excellent, thank you. I thought I'd flip it around instead of just wasting the whole show on us bickering about this. But Living Harvest, I've called you guys several times, and it's really hard, your customer service here in Portland. And I was just going to suggest, we're having a hard time getting at Trader Joe's, especially in the chocolate form, the Living Harvest hemp milk. And Fred Meyer's, a lot of the stores are unconquered, untouched. And I'm just wondering what the plans are, or if there's any way that the public can give you more input on as we go shopping.
Well, this is really good input, and I really appreciate it. I'll do my best to speak with the team. I've not really been involved with the marketing sales with Living Harvest for a couple of years now. I'm mostly in the back end as an owner, so I'm not up front anymore, but I will make sure that they hear your call. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. And thanks
Right
for the show, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know. I have seen it in, we don't want to be commercial here or anything, but I've seen it in the bigger Fred Meyer's. I noticed hemp seed oil isn't in the shelves anymore, but the hemp milk is there, at least at some of the bigger stores. But I also can get it at Whole Foods. But Trader Joe should have it too, especially since they generally sell products at a discount. So we could probably get a little cheaper there if it was possible.
True. A lot of times Trader Joe's like to have their own label too. They like to do their own private labeling.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys would work with them on that. Probably.
I'll find out. I'm not sure. I know we've talked to them before, but it's never really come through yet.
Yeah, I understand.
Potential.
If you're out there and you have a question for us tonight, give us a call at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We've got a guest on the show, Charles Holmes of Conscious Planet and Living Harvest Hemp Foods. So, how did you develop these products over time? I mean, we know, okay, it's a great source for hemp protein. How is it that you started marketing the other food products, like the hemp milk?
Good question. At first, we didn't know much about what this food could do and would do, so it was mostly the hemp nut and oil that started off the marketplace, and then we ventured into the protein powders, which spread us out a little bit more into the health shelf and other areas. Then we realized that in order to really get this out there and to get more people on board, we had to go to more mainstream products. And that's what Living Harvest was really the forerunner in learning to do that, with taking into flavored products. You were talking about the chocolate flavors. And
it's good stuff.
Yeah, we're really pleased with everything we've come through. But the milk's really changed the playing field with bringing hemp seed up to the levels of the other non-dairy beverages, which was really a great move.
That's right.
Ice cream, the temp ice cream, in my opinion, is amazing. We don't even get it in Canada yet, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that come up there one day. Our market is just so small for the amount that they have to do every time they do a run. So that's one of the challenges with the question that came up earlier about some of the stores is sometimes you have to do certain large runs with these kind of products, and the market is just not there for us yet. We're small potatoes compared to soybean industry, rice industry and such. So
sure. Exactly, the fledgling. I mean, it really just coming out.
It's just coming out.
But the protein. Amino acid and EFA profile so much superior for hemp compared to soybean.
Well, what we've discovered too is not only the nutritional profile is uniquely good for us as humans, and like you were reading earlier on the package, the fact that it has no enzyme inhibitors, what that means is, for instance, we've all eaten beans.
And soy does.
Beans, yeah.
Phytoestrogens.
If you eat beans, for instance, you usually get gases because the protein or the the protein is coated with an enzyme inhibitor, hard to get access to protein, hard to digest it. And same with certain grains and nuts. Well, these seeds don't have that, which means it's very easy to digest, easy access. So it means it's extremely functional. So we can also make anything from a non-dairy product to a meatless product out of this as a functional food. So ultimately, it could really replace anything that soybeans can do and better, which we're very excited about. It's just now.
We have a caller standing by on the phone, but first I'd like to take a caller from the internet. We also stream live on the internet on ustream.tv out there. And so this is talks about our proposal, the Oregon Cannabis Tax Act, to regulate the sale of marijuana and allow farmers here in Oregon to cultivate hemp products. And actually, it would take 2% of the profit from the sales of cannabis through state-regulated stores. This is a proposal for the ballot in 2012, by the way. It would take 2% of that and apply it to promote hemp seed protein and hemp fiber products here in Oregon and the production of them. So this question is, will Oregon farmers be able to sell crops for products like hemp milk? Well, the answer is yes. Then the question's more akin to something of yours. How many years will it take to develop an infrastructure to produce hemp seed products and protein and shelling and hulling the hemp seed and things like that?
That's a good question. It took us a long time to build that infrastructure because we really haven't been processing hemp for fiber or food in North America.
Those little tiny shells, how do you crack those things open? It's not like a walnut.
Easy. It took us years of R&D to figure it out. But the bottom line is we know we have a lot of other functional food industry equipment and things that are going on in all sorts of facets, so it can easily be adapted overnight.
Oh, good. So there are other things that you can just bring it over to this and make it work.
Any soybean making processing factory could do very similar things with our food as
That's good to know.
The seed. Yeah, it's a non-issue.
We have a telephone call. We'll go ahead and take that right now. We just got a few minutes left. Welcome to our show, caller.
How you doing tonight?
Good. Very well. How are you?
Hey, I had a question pertaining to renewing the medical marijuana card.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Okay, I went down and I saw my doctor, and he wrote in my files that says he has chronic back pain and he uses medical marijuana card for that, or medical marijuana for that. I was reading the attending physician statement for the Oregon Medical Marijuana Program. It says provide relevant portions of this patient's medical records containing all information required on this form. Does that mean I could just bring down the my file that states that he wrote down patient uses medical marijuana for chronic pain, or do I have to have him actually sign that?
There is a physician form. So if you're going to take his records and directly turn that in to the Oregon Health Department to get a permit, then you would have to have him fill out the attending physician statement. However, if you're going to go see a cannabis specialist, they would look at those records, do a physical exam, and then they would fill out the attending physician statement. So you could either go to your current doctor and see if they're willing to fill that out, or you can go to a specialist with that documentation, the paperwork you have, and then they will fill it out based on that.
Well, what do they mean then by on the part that says it says provide relevant portions of the patient's medical record containing all information required on this form?
That's a good question. I'd have to read through the text of that. I know in some cases they might accept something outside of that attending physician form. So they might. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to ask by any means.
So
their address, is right down in the Oregon building at 800 Northeast Oregon Street, very close to the Lloyd Center Mall on the second floor.
So they would be able to, DHS would be able to answer my question on this one?
I'm sure they would, yeah.
All right, I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate what you guys are doing.
You're welcome.
And I had one more question. Where can I get this? Get that living hemp? What you get the bag you got there sitting?
You can get it at Whole Foods. You can get it at Fred Meyer in the health food section, and you can look at their website, consciousplanet.net. That's consciousplanet.net for more information.
All righty. Hey, I do appreciate your time there.
Thank you. Thanks for your call.
Thank you. Bye.
If you're out there and you have a loved one or someone you know that you think might qualify for medical marijuana, we have doctors who can help them all across the nation, here in Oregon and Washington and every place from Rhode Island to Hawaii. So give us a call at 1-800-723-0188. That's 1-800-723-0188. And if you're here in the Portland area, you can call us at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. We had a question about the best way to control spider mites, also from the internet. Basically, there are a lot of different poisons out there, but we recommend you use non-toxic substances. Soapy water is a good alternative. If you're not in the flower cycle, you might try neem oil. You don't want to use that during the flower cycle, but soapy water and some other plant oils like sage oil and capsicum or pepper oil, all of those will kill spider mites, so we recommend that for that. Well, Charles, I want to thank you for coming on. Is there anything you'd like to say to it? Well, we're honored too. Thanks for coming on. I've been showing these Living Harvest products for years now, so it's great to have somebody coming on to talk about them. I really congratulate you.
I'd like to leave the watchers with some homework.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Well, I was really excited about you explaining that you do train people to actually eat the leaves and such as well. And
all of our patients that come through, and we have doctors who help patients, we give them a little handbook with recipes on how to make food products and capsules out of leaf and capsules out of flowers.
Another aspect that's in the leaves and the seeds that really needs to be addressed in the next little while is the phytosterol content. I've just discovered that in the last few months with some research that the key active ingredient in all plants is phytosterols. And hemp is unusually high in these, and that's one of the big components for its drive to support us in our healing abilities. Yeah.
Great. I sometimes take phytosterol supplements.
There you go.
All right.
You're ahead of me.
Great. Well, thanks for coming on, Charles. I really appreciate it. We're going to go out with more music from Tim Pate and Jonathan Nieder. I want to thank you folks for watching. We'll be back next week, and help us restore hemp. Good night.
See you next week, folks.